I think your choice. So more home games would be probably the first thing to change. As far as keeping the same, I think our culture is the way players love each other. And I think playing fast. I think we're going to actually play fast.
Thank you very much. Coach, the Kale's originally on campus this weekend. Can you talk about that visit? What you think his experience is like?
Yeah, I can't actually say much about that. We're looking at a couple power boards, and it's not legal for me to comment on anybody who is committed to the school or signing scholarship papers. So, unlike the NBA, unfortunately, those are comments that I can't make signing legal. So, but
How do you think the season will go?
how do I think the season's going to go? I think we're going to win 20 games or more. I think we're going to improve in a lot of areas. I think our defense will be significantly better. Offensively, we were already pretty good, but I think that'll go up also. And then I think you're going to see this year a little adjustment in our guard play. But apart from that, I just think it'll be a much better ending. My goal. So, go ahead.
How would you
Coaching style. I think I lead with love. I think servant leader, but at the same time, I think there's certain expectations. And, I think those expectations will be doubled down on. Nice hat, by the way.
Thank you.
You're winning today.
You cannot switch broadcast again. We know that you were coached at Gonzaga and Baylor, but how is the culture different here than at those schools?
Much better. I don't know that the culture is much different in the sense that I took over a winning program. I was blessed to do that. And I think we kind of taking some of what we did at Gonzaga and some of what we did at Baylor.
Given the recent settlement on terms of paying to play, essentially, now there's 20 overall sports, how is that going to affect your talent acquisition in the future?
Yeah, that's a pretty good question. You did your research before you got here. Well done. I would say that it's probably not going to change much for us. Right now, we're working through what rev share looks like. Probably the primary change is last year we worked with collective. This year, everything comes in house. So the ability to control that and have it all be put in rev share, I think maybe your positives and long run. And then maybe where your NIL was over here and your budget was over there, everything's in the same space now. So you can divvy it up differently and maybe have to control about where things go. But we'll still be fundraising. We're still going to have to do certain things that we had to do in the past. It's just our athletic director probably has more control of that. But
No interest, really. How does it feel to every year have to be re-recruiting your talent back to FAU when in the past they signed their letter of intent and they became an FAU owl? How has recruiting changed in that sense?
I think that's an unbelievable question also. So I was in the profession for a long time. Like Gonzaga and Baylor, we did this thing where we would recruit somebody, we'd redshirt them, they would player develop for a year, and then we would catch up. And we couldn't even do it for Kentucky recruiting. But we just felt like in that redshirt year, we could catch up with our coaching. And then we were able to go to the Final Four, Gonzaga, Final Four. And Baylor, even if you look at Dusty's stats, he did a great job. The thing he had with that group was retention. He had guys for 3 years. So I felt like I spent all this time, a little bit over a decade, trying to get this coaching job, and I got one. I changed the rules. And so the issue now is to not complain. It's how can you redo your analytics? How can you redo your choices? How can you maybe fundraise in a way where you get to keep a couple more guys? And at the end of the day, the whole sport has changed, so we're just all our customers. Money isn't necessarily the only answer. There's high major guys and lost everybody on the team. I mean, my former boss got through that 15 guys on the team, not one of them stayed. So I don't think this is unique to FAU. I think it's part of the culture. I'm hoping the NCAA will put some guardrails around it and get some multi-year deals. I don't see that in the near future. But
Dr. Magnotta, sports broadcasting camp. What has the transition looked like from assistant coach to head coach, and what adjustments have you made?
yeah, I think the main transition is moving my family. I don't think people ever realize what happens. I've got 2 boys and a girl, she's 12, and she goes to Henderson over here. But she had to change her whole life. I think that's probably the primary change. As far as the coaching change, I think if you hire good assistants and you're willing to delegate and share, you're gonna be just fine. I think the stuff away from the court is probably what you're dealing with. Rev share, NIL, scheduling, what your budget is, how to best use it. And then that just takes practice. It's almost like your CEO and coach at the same time. So just trying to take care of my family, and the CEO part of the basketball will take care of itself.
Awesome, thank you.
Well, I'm gonna give my answer to that in a way that's probably means most. That's Devin Vanderpool. We did this last year. We had 3 guys stay. Everybody asked me questions about Trey Carroll. And all year long, all I got was questions about Trey Carroll. Trey had long hair. Trey was fun. Trey likes Instagram. Trey stayed at FAU. Trey's the best. Well, Devin has stayed at FAU 22. And if you were going to say underrated, at the end of the year, he just would not stop getting better. And he stole minutes from Kiki and Penn. Down the stretch, you can see us go offense, defense with him and Nico Ferretti. I'm as proud as Devin as I am probably anybody I've ever coached. And his loyalty is probably second to none. And I hope that fans and you all will, frankly, treat him the way you treat Trey. Because, in my opinion, he deserves that more. I love Dev, and I hope this is the one year for him. But I thought he was immensely underrated and definitely on defense, especially now. Question. But what are the names? When they're young? Oh, I think they should win all the sports. I think there's a whole next area too. I coach professionally in Europe. We actually play soccer in practice. Every Monday we play soccer. I play goalie. The guys would kick the ball as hard as they could at me. Probably made them feel better. But I think so much of even the NBA game, 40% of those guys are from overseas, and all of them play soccer and play basketball. There's something about football things that just really work out. I think if you can play football and learn some toughness, you got the hand-eye coordination for the football player. So the specialty in sports, I think, is not bad, but I think personally believe that most of the sports can work.
There's Sean, fourth block out again. This is your second year as the coach here at FAU. As you said, there's been a lot of revamps that have happened. Are there any positives that come along with revamping this? So what are some of the positives that come along with it?
Yeah, I mean, I think you can change your issues quickly. I think you can address things, you can learn from your mistakes and have an immediate turnover. I think I got in a coaching and made a difference in people's lives, and I'm disappointed that the people I love have moved on, but at the same time, this is just a new group for me. So you can look at that as half class in a theater, half class at home. So we're going to choose to look at it as class at home. Walking into the locker room this week and seeing our guys before we first do practice, to me that was a joy. And 10 new guys that did it, and I'm really proud of that. So. Okay, so I would say we do a couple of things. Our staff's a little different. I never try to coach for longer than 2.5 hours, but my assistants are the ones that do the player development. So every morning at 7 a.m., you'll see Isaiah Austin in there with Devin Williams, our UCLA trainer. Or you see Isaiah Levine with Coach AD. You see Damon with Danny Carlisle or Indiana training. So we structure our whole thing where our assistants actually do that stuff, not our managers or PAs. So I think that would probably be the first thing we do, is that our players spend more time with their assistants than probably any program in the country. The second thing is we believe in food. We had 1 week together. Saturday morning, we went to Hen and the Hog. We had breakfast as a group. And just sit together for 2 hours and get to know each other. It's incredibly powerful. And then I said it a little earlier, but I would say my third thing is my guests, our players, hear from me that I love them more than any coach ever had in life. And I don't think that's going to stop. So I would say that's probably 3 things that are a little bit. Go ahead.
So Sunday at PC, how do you feel about
years of the team. How do you feel you're the NCAA basketball law, so the schools can directly put players? How does that change?
I mean, I think in some ways, as far as change the game, it just brought the money in-house. But when they allowed us to pay players, it came quickly. I thought that it was going to maybe slow down as time went on, but it's just escalated not only the cost of players, but the amount of transfer. So I'm hoping there's some future legislation for that. But I think that change has already been made a couple years ago. Now it's just a matter of the money coming in.
And we've got time for two more questions, guys. Then we'll take a picture with Coach.
Go ahead.
How do you feel like any of your players have NBA talent?
I do. And at the end of the day, we got a couple kids, for example, like Isaiah Aline was top 6 in the country when he was in high school. It's an injury issue. He plays Sierra Canyon, he was with Ron James' son, tried out for USA basketball. I think before he was injured, there was all kinds of talk about him being on that path. I would say Payne Carlisle is another guy, top 12 his whole life from junior high all the way through high school. People thought he was one and done. He sometimes fit is the most important thing. I recruited him at Baylor. He was second place. I was the main recruiter. And we a lot of recruiting battles. I lost that one. We're getting Payne back to be an unbelievable gift. I feel like he has real NBA potential. But I would say this, and you can look at our group at Baylor, the guys who got drafted. You can look at even at the guys from FAU that are going through the draft process now. Some guys take a year, some guys take 3, some take 5. And my main message would be that at the end of the day, the NBA drafts probably 30 guys that get to do whatever they want as next players and everybody else is a role player. And who ends up making that role or fitting in those lanes is probably a lot different than people realize. So I would say the long run is still in play for most of our guys. But they just got to understand what it actually takes to be one of the other guys that aren't the max player. I hope that FAU has its first NBA player here soon.
One last good one.
Okay. Go ahead.
Probably how, as a head coach, do you manage dealing with all the NIL stuff and the recruiting, the constant recruiting battles while also focusing on basketball?
Well, year 1, I probably had to do way more of that than I ever expected. Year 2, I'm hoping to delegate some of that. But being overwhelmed our coaching at times because of the finances and all stuff that goes well with it. But I think we'll only get better at that. You live and you learn through processes. I think we're already in a much better spot. As the athletic department kind of takes over some of that stuff, it's going to free us up to coach more. And like I said earlier, you just constantly tinkering between the balance of CEO and coach. So I'm trying to get some of that CEO off.
Special thanks to Coach.
Just waiting to players.
Yeah, we're in press conference. Got a lot of questions to ask here, so
It's gonna be a good session.
we're excited.
We're excited. Oh, and here they are.
Guys, big hand for the basketball here. These are the two standout guards that are returning for FAU this year. They both played this year here. Yep, you're a few years already. And as coach just talked you up big, Devin, saying that you're very loyal and stayed while everybody else left. We're happy that both you guys stayed. All right, the press conference is open. You guys raise your hands. I'll follow you. They're going to say their name, affiliation, ask you questions. You guys can pick anybody you want.
No hands are raised, number please. We just talked to coach about it. With NIL and the whole recruiting world changing, what is your process like in the off season, having to deal with threats of tampering and other options of leaving FAU, and what really made you guys stay throughout the off season?
Well, I mean, personally, I didn't really think of the part. I was just starting this off season and just excited to whatever this next season holds for us with this team. Around you, this you have to try. I'm like this and out for this, and I like just I'm excited for it. And it's good. I don't know if I enjoy winning off.
Yeah.
It just feels like more attention. So even with all the players, always good. Every time outside of just playing basketball and football is good. And those the more you go out and you bond with each other, the better. You just have to go out.
Jackson Yoder, SBC. You guys are kind of like the star guards of the team. What can you guys do to be leaders on and off the court throughout the season this year?
So just bring the one especially one sport. So you know, of course, you guys are going to depend on us to really lead and have good advocates for them for this season.
I think what's the conflict?
It's whatever. Everybody else do what they have to do. You just get interest in the basketball. You personally like a little bit of the old. long as like this weekend.
Obviously, both of you guys are career played in big games like the UNC last year and Devin state championship in high school. What have you guys been able to learn about yourself and your teammates by playing in big games?
I'm finding for me is like just one team, like each other win. That's not true. And also defense. You see this response of player, true emotions, pressures and stuff. It's emotion ability. Really good try to not
Talking about Nada, sports broadcasting camp. How can you guys improve your game and hopefully get this program back to the games?
So the move on game is just spin drill. It's good on something. Deep practice. Go like you want to discuss that. You know, it's just really coming down to I need to. They didn't have that. Well, like, we know that for you, we're supposed to be, obviously, it's impressive. I'll probably say me, personally, last year, my freshman year, it wasn't like the easiest, just not being able to play. And, only doing like a lot of practice, not get a real game play. Probably for me, last year, not being able to. Just, it just takes out. So as I said, it's obviously important that all players, obviously. What do you guys do? Yeah. That's, yeah. Find ways to, bound each other with that conversation. And then we're also like kind of mutual friends. Really good part of that, it's a small group. The chances of us meeting someone who we already knew of, some of our team and also us bond quicker. So I would say I mean, I would say a little bit about it. I don't know.
You guys have any plans outside of basketball?
I do. I mean, a little bit. Used to, just out of mind, like watching shows and movies. When I was like watching movies. It's like, damn. Um, Yellow, probably say Blue Light was like, it's probably one. Yeah. I guess, yeah, for me, most of the movies, my first time experience, I was very close, I was actually going that. I still got experience working that. So that was fun. Make sure you go eat. This is a visit. That was the game. And sometimes
How do you focus on basketball while also focusing on sport?
I mean, I really like the defense talent, like running back in my time, right on the fly, top of the way, right away. Obviously, I still don't look at products. Especially the still looking points, but
Two more questions, guys. We're gonna take some pictures of this guy.
no, it's not. I mean, it's, there's a lot of business. So, definitely, what is your favorite college basketball? Really? But it would do. And it's a lot of stuff. I'm president. So glad we won.